In 1980, two incredibly bizarre and high-profile mysteries would occur in the town of Todmorden, England. The first incident involves a man dying under mysterious circumstances and a variety of theories being proposed over the years as to what happened. The second story involves a man in what appears to be a classic alien abduction. These cases are truly unique in that they happened in the same area just months apart. In this episode, we will examine the strange cases of coal miner Zigmund Adamski and police officer Alan Godfrey. On June 6, 1980, Zigmund Adamski, then 56 years old, left his home and went outside to run his errands. As nighttime came, he never returned home, and 3 days later, the coal miner was found dead. His corpse was found over 20 miles away from his home in the town of Todmorden. The scene was pretty bizarre to say the least. At the scene, police officer Alan Godfrey would notice several odd things. First, Adamski had been gone for 3 days, but his beard clearly showed only 1 day's worth of growth, suggesting he had just shaved yesterday. Second, Adamski's hair had been cut in a peculiar manner. Godfrey described it as roughly cut. It appeared as if his hair was cut randomly, like as if someone or something was taking samples. Third, Adamski had weird burn marks on his neck, shoulders, and head. An autopsy would also reveal that some sort of unknown ointment had been used to treat the burns. The story garnered national attention, and no one could quite figure out what happened. We will dive into the theories later in the video, as just 5 months later, coincidentally, Alan Godfrey, one of the police officers who investigated Adamski, would have his own strange incident, and unlike Adamski, he would live to tell about it. In the early morning hours, on November 28, 1980, Alan Godfrey was out on patrol and assigned to find some missing cows. In the town of Todmorden, Godfrey drove down Burnley Road trying to locate the missing livestock. After having no luck and getting ready to head back, Godfrey would then spot a bright light in the sky. It was a diamond-shaped object and rotating around 20 feet high and 14 feet wide. He couldn't believe what he was seeing, and Godfrey hopped out of his car and began sketching the craft. Then, a bright white light flashed, and the next thing he knew, he was 30 yards down the road sitting in his car. Later on, he would realize he had about 20 minutes of missing time. At the scene, Godfrey drove back to the original spot he saw the UFO. There, he would be astonished to see the road and surrounding area were completely dry. This made no sense, as it had rained heavily that night. He would soon notice his boot, which for some reason was ripped open at the sole. This suggested he might have been dragged, and the sole might have caught onto something. There was also a mark on his foot as well, which he couldn't explain. Godfrey once again exited the vehicle, and to his surprise saw the cows he had originally been assigned to find. It's important to note, of course, they were not there previously. While Godfrey was hesitant to make an official report on the matter, he would soon discover that he was not alone that evening in seeing the craft. A person had phoned the police station, who was nearby, and reported seeing a bright white light. Also, to lend more support to Godfrey's story, several police officers in another precinct reported seeing a bright white light a little bit before Godfrey's encounter. His story would get picked up by the press, and soon many ufologists would be contacting him. After some time, about 9 months, Godfrey decided to undergo hypnotic regression. In the sessions, he would recall being hit by a bright white light and then ending up in a weird room. Even stranger, in the room, there was some type of being that looked like a giant black dog. This is an interesting detail we will discuss later in the video. It wasn't what was in charge though. Instead, in the room, there was a humanoid with a thick beard that was the leader. The being telepathically communicated that its name was Yosef. Alongside Yosef were several small beings that appeared to be robotic in nature. The group would study him, although it doesn't appear the experiments were painful. These memories could have been blocked though. Godfrey's sessions were subject of much ridicule and criticism by skeptics. Godfrey himself stated he wasn't sure if the memories were real, created, or a mixture of the two. This is important to note, as he was upfront and honest about his therapy. As stated, some think the beings might have suppressed some of his memories, as he wasn't subject to some of the more painful types of examinations. A few years after the incident, Godfrey would resign from the police force. Some say it was due to ridicule, but it appears that he left due to an on-the-job injury. Still, what can we make of these two cases? During this time, it's important to note many UFO sightings occurred around the area, and just a few hours away, a month later after the Godfrey case, the world-renowned Rendlesham Forest UFO incident happened. While it seems highly likely that Alan Godfrey had a close encounter, what about the strange death of Zigmund Adamski? There are several theories that have been proposed. The first is ball lightning. Ball lightning is a rare and unexplained phenomenon in which luminous objects can strike people. It can be different colors, and while cases of these strikes have been known to kill people, they are very rare. Ball lightning doesn't really answer many of the questions around Adamski's death though, like the lack of beard growth, and also why his wallet and watch were missing. The second theory around Adamski's case is that it was a robbery or some type of crime. This is evidenced by his watch and wallet missing. Was he taken, tortured, and finally killed? It's surely possible, but if someone did do that, why did they stop and give him a clean shave? Also, his corpse didn't show any signs of blunt force trauma or foul play. Some have proposed Adamski might have been having an affair. Perhaps Adamski was staying over at another woman's home, and an angry husband killed him in a rage. His clothes were found to be very clean, suggesting that he was killed elsewhere and moved. While this could explain the lack of beard growth, as Adamski could have shaved at the woman's place, there's no evidence that he was involved in any sort of extramarital affair. By all accounts, he was in a happy and loving marriage. The third theory is that Adamski was abducted by aliens and returned home. Perhaps the beings never intended to harm him or kill him, but he died from a heart attack or some sort of experiment. It is said his face looked terrified when they found the body. Still, why would the beings take his watch and wallet and not the other things? Without question, Adamski is an extremely odd death, and we have just touched on a few of the theories on this case. Switching over to the Godfrey case, it appears to be a pretty credible case. Godfrey has conscious memories of seeing the craft, and also there appears to be some physical evidence with his boot sole torn. He may not have been taken by the craft, although in our opinion he probably was. Without question though, he clearly remembers seeing a UFO and losing time. In addition, other witnesses saw the craft, and perhaps more saw it as well and didn't come forward. The last aspect of the Godfrey case is to discuss the giant dog. It's surely strange to think about what this creature might have been. Was it a pet for the beings? Did they genetically alter an earth dog to create a giant-sized dog as a pet? It's important to note a historical connection here as well. In ancient Egyptian culture, it is well known Egyptians worshipped dogs and cats as gods. Dogs were seen as divine vessels and intermediaries between the mortal and the gods. They were often sacrificed and mummified to join their owners in the afterlife. Is it possible that Egyptians came into contact with this species, interacted with these massive dogs, and gained a newfound respect for the canines afterward? Or was this gigantic dog simply all in Godfrey's head? Perhaps one day we will find out. That said, both cases continue to be examined today, but it appears we're no closer to solving either one.